Good morning, everyone. So, today I'm going to walk you through your first project, which is the memoir. This is going to take about 3 weeks, so the end of the third week, this will be due. Check the schedule for draft dates and due dates officially. So, for this memoir, you guys are going to be writing about a share experience. So, this project is intended to create an opportunity for you to share experiences regarding a memory that's important to you. I would like it to be an important, positive memory, not one that's negative. As I stated in my navigation video, if you guys share things with me, such as abuse of any kind, I will have to report that. So I want to make sure that if that this keeps it all positive, basically. So your project should include both a narration and a reflection, the story itself, and your thoughts exploring the significance. So the rhetorical situation. You have been asked to share a story of an experience you had with a friend or family at a party where your friends and or family will be attending. The hostess has asked you to create a short presentation for the attendees at the party. So that's sort of the rhetorical situation that we're setting you up in, to have an idea on how to proceed. So the specifics. The main purpose of this memoir is to entertain. In other words, your first priority is to find a good story. So that's what you should really be focusing on, is what is a good story? How can I tell the story the best? And finally, how to reflect on that story. Thinking about, why is this memory important to you? I provided some questions here. You don't need to answer every single one of these. However, I want you to use these as a guide when you get to that reflection point, to help you sort of figure out what it is you want to say and how you want to say it. So for this project, it's going to be multimodal, which means you cannot write something out. You cannot write an essay. This is not a text-based assignment. You're going to be creating a multimodal document, which can include, but it's not limited to, images, sound, text, and perhaps a combination of all three. So you can do a sound project, and I've provided some links to some really great tutorials and services you can use, some free programs such as Audacity. If you decide to just do sort of like a narration with your voice only, you should consider having music and other sounds in the project. It shouldn't just be your voice. For a digital storybook, if there's someone who considers wanting to do something like this, you can include up to 20 pictures. Now, these pictures can be your own personal ones if you feel comfortable sharing that, or they can be ones you find online that sort of illustrate to your audience what you're trying to discuss. So, for example, if the positive memory you want to talk about is the first time you went hiking in a mountain, and you can show a bunch of pictures of people hiking in mountains, if that's what's important to you. You can also do a video storyboard, which can also include interviewing friends and family. So it doesn't just have to be yourself. You can actually, discuss it with other people. But it should be something that's important to you. And you should have it organized in a specific fashion. So that means I don't want you to talk about your memory or, your memory in any random order. I want to make sure that as you're constructing it, in the same way that you would a writing assignment, sort of connect paragraphs to each other, this story should sort of work in such a fashion that everything develops on top of each other to sort of lead to that big moment and then sort of closing us out. So one thing I recommend is writing a script, making sure you figure out what it is you want to say, how you want to say it, and thinking about how you are trying to story your story. You will also have a reflection component. So this reflection component will be writing based, if you would like it to be. It can also be multimodal. But you need to keep in mind, you need to do two things. You need to actually write your story itself, or, record your story itself, and you need to record your reflection itself, answering these questions here. So, yeah. Ignore this media lab. I've decided that we're not going to do something like that, so just ignore that part. Ignore question 3 altogether if you like. Or just, yeah. And finally, the rubric is here on how sort of it's breaking down. The project itself is 100 points. All of your big projects are about 100 points. So this is showing you how I will be grading. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer. But keep in mind, there are 2 parts to this project. The first is the actual memoir, and the second part is the reflection. If you only do the one memoir part, you will lose points in the reflection. I want to make sure you keep that in mind, that you can lose, up to 10% of the points, which doesn't sound like much, but if everything else is not all there, it can really hurt you. So make sure you have both parts there established. If you have any questions, let me know. We're going to be doing peer review for this. So you're going to be having your classmates look it over. For each of you, for each peer review, you must do 2 reviews you must do 2 reviews for each classmate. So for example, you can give feedback to one classmate and then feedback to another classmate. Those are your 2 peer reviews. They should be detailed, and information on how the peer reviews are going to work are actually on the discussion board post itself. So keep that in mind, that you should be responding to 2 people if you want to get full points for peer review, which does fall under participation, in case you were wondering. So hopefully this helps. Definitely read through this carefully. And you're also not limited to these things here. If you find that you want to do something else, maybe there's some other multimodal, program out there that I have never heard of, and you're like, I think that this could work, shoot me an email. State your case, explain it to me, how it could work, how you see yourself using it, and if it's multimodal, then I don't see a problem with it. But make sure you come to me first. All right. So have a good one, and good luck. We got this.